Welcome back, everybody. I'm Barrett Bryant, joined at least for the last time this weekend, honestly, with Jesse Cervini, my fellow co-commentator, and we have another top 4 match to come through. And so if you enjoyed some Porco gameplay that you know is going to be in the finals from George Rangel, we have Phil Birch versus Dawson Milstead. I mean, regardless, whichever you want to say on the aggro versus the defense, 7-handers are eating good this tournament right now, guaranteed to take home a win.
Yeah, I mean, this Porco deck has been floating around for a hot minute.
Gavin Cale having a lot of success with it.
Yep, and now George, who's one of the regular judges at these events, decided I get play one event. I'm gonna go with all the distance, get all my points to be done.
He told me an 8-month hiatus, and I told him in the interview right afterwards, I said, George, you're 1 win away from an auto lock day 2 to Worlds, and it's crazy how that can happen just like that.
Can.
But just like that, we have another card reveal for you guys. For Guilty Gear Strive, the set that's coming out in November. This one is Cross-Up Protection, 1 difficulty 5 check, 2 mid-block with the infinity symbol. And it says, response after you block with this card, if the zone of this attack has been changed, it deals no damage. And I don't know about you, Jesse. This whole weekend, we've seen some zone changing.
I like this. This is a nice little, hey, I'm going to play this cool +2 mid-spam. And once in a while, people are playing a lot of zone changes. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, you think about it. Deviljin.
Yep.
He changes the zone.
Yeah.
You know, things like teaming with the Attack Titan changes its zone. You know, it's got
Pony.
Our Pony does have the zone change. I know, revealed in the set for Guilty Gear Strive, zone change. The Roman Cancel token has an ability on it where you're allowed to change the zone. And of course, this has a mid block, so you can use it no matter what, even if it was made to a high or to a low. And then, of course, it's a mid, it's a full block anyway. So a very, very cool block trick for you to put on, like you said, a 1 difficulty foundation on this nice little common. And that is our second to last reveal. So before finals, we are going to have the last card reveal for Guilty Gear Strive that you and Brownlee will hopefully be able to talk about. But our players are ready to jump into our top 4 match, and here is Dawson's Porco deck. Very, very similar, of course, because like you said, like a lot of these Porco decks have been running around, and they look very similar. Yep. 4X is a lot of things, the cards you want to see, things you want to have found, but this one is playing different counts. Like, you know, Besiege here at a 4 of, I think it was only like a 2 or a 3 of over in George's list. You know, the 1 copy of Enough Talk, the 1 copy of Titan Armbar, but of course the Foundations, the big giant slew of, you know, 4Xs of all the cards you want to see hit our discard pile, and then great interaction pieces like Dark Ward.
Yeah, I'm really interested that he's only playing 2 capture the target.
Yeah, and that one
that's a surprising one.
And we saw it have a lot of success in the last match for both players because
Yeah.
Calvin was also playing it in Deviljin, of course. But his opponent, Phil Birch, that's right, it says right there, 16th seed, climbing his way now into top 4, having to go second all day today with this incredible defensive Rodan list on the Void symbol. And it just has so many interaction cards that can deal with things that are going on in the format right now, and of course has barrier shields of their own. So we'll have to see how well the board interaction is for Porco to be able to deal with some of these onboard Void symbol cards. But our game is ready to be going, and so we're going to be jumping in here very soon. Thoughts and predictions, because this defensive deck has been fighting against aggro decks all day today and is doing well.
Porco's going first. I don't know.
Porco went first last man.
Porco's going first. I don't know.
I'm
calling it.
All right, fair enough. I've got my horse still in the race here. I think the defensive deck, and Phil Birch is a player, very long-term player here. Multiple, he has multiple champ cards and teams wins as well. But like you said, only going to be able to go second here. Dawson on the play. Our players are shuffling up. I believe after the mulligans, this is going to be a good one, and I'm really excited here.
Let's see what these two decide to go with.
Yeah, and we'll see this opening hand as well for the build. I see a Marley's Warriors right off the bat, which is going to help us at least give an opportunity for Dawson to have like a turn 2 potential. That's one of the ones you need. Loss of consciousness, frightening calm to have it access, but only a build 3 is probably not the key to success on doing like a powerful turn 2.
Yep. That's definitely we're going to hold some ground here, and we're going to see what happens. We got the Namagon, which is really good in this matchup. Also, double Botons, and
I even like the pass-through walls, though, I
Yeah.
think is big because you know the biggest piece of defense that Porco is typically doing is just barrier shield, right?
Yep.
So you have an auto answer to it, and there's no assets in that deck, so that's literally what that card is going to be used for. And you don't typically want to see a defensive loss of consciousness having to be used on something like a pass-through walls, but it could happen. But yeah, we're going to have to deal with the repeatable speed hate on the incubating as well as the character card of Rodan. But keeping 3 cards in hand, Phil is postured pretty well to do a nice block string. And the Botan's coaching said if we ever run out of cards in our hand, we can always get a couple more.
That's true. That is a lot. There's a lot going on with that hand.
There's a lot of heat there, and then even the action card is a little awkward if we wanted to actually build, because only having 3 foundations, this is basically, the deck has forced you to go in, and so we are going.
Did he have double Mighty Blitz? I think he has double.
Yeah, double Mighty Blitz. It's a Jaw Titan attacks, a Besiege, and a teaming with the Attack Titan. And so we'll have to see what the lead is. It's typically Mighty Blitz, but I also understand that wanting to play Mighty Blitz is like the 3rd attack, because it means you can auto-guarantee the 4 attacks in your card pool to get the Porco machine running. So it looks like instead lead with the Jaw Titans and checking a 4 because we use that Marley's Warriors means we're going to be just fine. And we can even discard a card from our hand right here and go find one from our discard pile, which we don't have, but you could still do it if you want to get that loss of conscious in the discard pile.
Yep, and trigger. Trigger, yes.
Yeah, you would. Mill 3 here from the Porco Enhancer is going to give +1/+1. And we did end up getting another Jaw Titans bite in there, but we were a little too late on the blitz timing.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to start doing Rodan things here. I mean, we got incubating. We have Rodan plus incubating. So we have, the best thing about this is, with the boy Rodan, is you get to go, if like you don't like the top card, but the card just below it is that sweet like -4, you're like, oh, I'll get rid of this one for -1 and -4 draw a card.
My biggest thing too against the aggro decks is like you're just allowed to go fish out and start finding attack cards that are already in your discard pile to get to that magical 4 number of the attacks removed in your game pile, so that your Rodan ability allows you to look at 4 cards off the top of the deck instead of the normal 2.
And we destroyed a foundation. We destroyed the Marley's first stun one.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you have to start dealing with a little bit of the aggression. But, of course, the pass-through walls, easy commit here because there's no assets on board. And Breaker doesn't affect Phil at all on this turn. And so, yeah, incubating, removing one of those attack cards, getting that count up because Rodan is looking for a certain amount in his remove from game pile. And it's very, very slow. Now, this is a 0 high 4/5 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Phil is going to block with the Ice Sword's Execution. This card, I am always happy to see this card getting played. It is just so much damage output, especially in decks where like you're trying to play like 1-2 attacks a turn at times. Yeah. And just lock a board out.
Yeah, on a 3/4 for this Besiege, and we checked a Lust for Battle, which we can respond with because it entered our discard pile during the combat phase. -1 to Phil's next check to play a card. And, of course, this Besiege says we're only allowed to block with cards of printed block modifier 3 or greater, but Phil goes ahead and uses the Nonagon so that ability won't even be able to be triggered. And so we will be able to block with whatever we feel like. Going straight to milling some cards, we got an I'm With You and some extra attacks in our discard pile for +2 damage and the 3 damage and 1 speed.
Yep.
And now we have something like an armbar in our discard pile so that when we do play a Mighty Blitz, we could get some high damage very quickly.
Yeah, this is where we're deciding. I think we're looking at, do we remove for the incubating?
Yeah,
yep.
It's just like you said, that top card of our discard pile only has a block modifier of 1. We can just incubate and get away, and now we can still get this attack in our remove from game pile and give a little bit more minus speed. Rodan Enhance coming through here. Going to look at the top 2 cards, and you're allowed to alter the order of them, and it's double action card. It's Genkai's Guidance and a Barrier Shield. And we do have access to grab these off the top of our deck because of the Botan's coachings.
Mm-hmm. We can go get one if we need to.
Going for the block, it looks like. Rejuvenating Smash, though. Going to check here, and we're not going to gain any life, but because it's the second card we play this turn, draw 2 cards, and all of a sudden, extra cards in hand on defense for Phil here is huge, and one of them being a Barrier Shield means that this turn could be over very quickly for Dawson. Obviously, we think this Mighty Blitz is going to be coming in here on a 6, +1 to wear check.
Yep. I think we go for this.
I think you have to. You've already pressed the Marley's Warriors button, and you don't have foundations really to build. So on a 6, checks a 6, so we're still good there. And, of course, this is going to be a 5 mid for 3, and it is going to be able to grab any card in our discard pile unless we have an answer to it on play.
Yeah, it's time now. It's time for the fun things to happen.
Yeah, Porco Machine is live. There goes the Titan armbar. While it's in the carpool, your attacks get +2 damage. This also came in with the floating damage from the Jaw Titan's bite. And then, so we have 3 damage right here. And then from the Blitz ability, it also will get an extra 3 damage because there is at least a high attack
Yep.
in our, +4 damage, no, 3 damage, for plus additional to go over. Now we're at 9. We mill our 3 with Porco. This will end up being like a 6 mid for 10.
Yep.
Mill 3, I'm with you. Hey, just kidding. It's actually for 12, which is well over half of Rodan's life. 3 there, 1 speed. And again, Phil is able to press buttons and still play defense, and we know that he has something like a barrier shield. Is he going to do the Porco thing? We're going to pick up the Besiege, it looks like, going to our hand, and then we're going to add 1 card in our hand into our card pool. The offensive play here is to put the barrier shield because it doesn't count towards progressive.
And keep going.
And you can keep going with a little bit less, and that seems to be the play. So now only having 3 progressive instead of the 4, even with all these cards in here.
So now Phil's in the situation of does he barrier this?
I think it's not a bad call, right? So this is on a 4. It checks. The barrier shield will remove. Set this attack speed to 0. The next card that Phil plays will have Breaker 2. And also that barrier shield check eats up, or the check hack is gone already from the Lust for Battle. So, but the barrier shield action cards allow you a way to eat up those Lust for Battle as well, just because you're playing enhances.
Yeah, so now we're at minus. Oh, yeah,
it's the slowest move of all time because you can set it to 0, and then Rodan and Incubating can make it even lower. And we have a mid block here from a keeping Airy safe, sorry. And even with the 3 check, it doesn't matter. And Breaker 2 on the card because of the barrier shield. So even though there's still 3 progressive, we still have +1 to our check. Just kidding, a combined of -1 to our check because of the Breaker 2 going the other way for Dawson. And with only 2 ready foundations and our character 3, 4, 5, 6 with -1, you definitely could still do it.
Yep.
It's just a risk.
Yep. There's definitely does this deck play any hard sixes?
I don't think so. Most of the list is pretty locked in on the same foundation.
It's all 5 discs.
Yeah, all 5s all the way.
Dawson's like, I'm gonna get in. I did what I could here. Made Phil use a lot of resources, and we'll see what he can do on swing back.
I was gonna say that, but like when I think about like what the board state was and like what was going on, I think Dawson used more than Phil. Phil blew up 1 foundation.
Yeah.
And it was just repeatable speed hate, right? Everything else was like a block trick or something that we drew anyway. And like we're playing UniVersus, right? We draw up to our hand size every single turn. So leading things off here with the world's weakest hunter, and he has the amazing alt art, which is not the one I'm going to be pulling up, but they look so good. This 5 mid for 3 potentially can draw us 3 cards in Rodan because we almost always have 3 cards in our remove from game pile.
Yep.
And so this one's going to be able to give setup and allow Phil to stabilize a little bit more, even if he doesn't choose to keep on attacking. We do have a defensive seal here, though. The Bowtines coaching coming through after the enhance of the other Bowtines coaching as well, getting in a card out of Dawson. And Dawson chooses to just pitch that Bowtines, or sorry, the Lots of Conscious. We're using an I'm With You that was milled off the top for -2 damage, giving some more speed here with the Galactic Monster enhance, or sorry, with the Rodan enhance, removing a Galactic Monster. So this is the 1 damage move of all time.
But it's 1 damage, draw 3.
It's still 1 damage, draw 3, and it gets us a momentum as well, right? We talked about things like Ice Sword Execution earlier. That momentum goes a long way.
Yes.
Draws our 3, lots of foundations here, but I don't think Phil is really upset at all about just building, right?
Yep.
Especially, again, Porco is on 2 foundations, and the Marley's Warriors is gone. We already used it.
Yeah, we have to find another one, or we have to go off without it, but now Phil has the ability of like, hey, I got in, got out, and I'm just going to build as much as I feel comfortable building here.
Yeah, I think Phil is going to be able to run away with the stage discrepancy this game 100%, right? Especially with all these meaningful 2 diffs, checking very well on them. Moment of Normalcy, Masho's Concealment, Hacker Extraordinaire, and Not Now I'm Gaming, which is very, very good against this deck that wants to be playing on progressive and might have to commit an extra few pieces, and you can bounce it right back to their hand. But we'll have to see what Dawson does. I think there's just a world where you have to review an attack here, man. I think you have to establish a stage as the teaming goes to the discard pile because there's just no way we can play right now. Draws action card, attack card, double foundation.
I think looks like a build 3 pass.
It doesn't feel good, but you feel like you have to.
Yep.
Yep, Frightening Calm, second one hitting the table, capture the target, forcing surrender, and we
Pass.
build 3 pass. Again, nothing like a Marley's Warriors to help us later on as we already used that piece, but we do have some meaningful cards now, and things like capture the target do go a long way because they count as 2.
It looks like Phil has a situation here where he could just keep going.
You can just cash in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so you ready? We talked about Ice Sword Execution. There's now 2 cards of the same name on your opponent's stage, and we have a momentum. So something like Ice Sword Execution says stun 2, get +5 damage, and freeze one of them to even deter another attempt at offense from Dawson. But it's only if you draw it, of course. And a lot of the cards in our hand from Phil don't look orange to me.
Yep.
Supersonic Flight, though, coming down. This is going to be very good for extra draw in the future, as well as a cool zone change. And then one of the key defensive pieces that I think has given Rodan a lot to play with for this for a long time, which is Mikasa defeats the female Titan, which says that any block that you do can be a perfect block.
It looks like we played which one is that? The
Galactic Monster
from the remove from game pile.
Yeah. It says that while it's there, you're allowed to play them.
Yeah, why not? Like you have cards in hand for days.
It saves you cards in hand, right? That's the whole point, right?
The thing, yeah.
You can't block with it. You can only play it as a form, but it means you didn't use a card from your hand. Even the keeping Ares safe here, as we are on our way to deadlock.
And what is we got? We got Jaw Titan.
Jaw Titan's Bite has deadlock stun 2, but I think nothing else has any deadlock. And honestly, just not a lot of deadlock cards in the game right now. Yeah. At least that people are paying a lot of attention to. As we draw up with our 5 foundation stage, 7 cards in hand for Dawson, trying to figure out what the path to victory is, but it looks like it's not very aggressive. It looks like we're going to have to build for another turn. Never mind. We're going to go for it. Checks the list for battle, which means we're allowed to respond with it. And we are leading things off here with the Flashfire Fist Hell Spider.
Yep. Plus 3/6 on a 4.
Yeah.
Like this thing's so well, and it gets +1 to itself and every other attack for the turn.
Yeah, second Let's for Battle hit as well for -1 more to Phil's next check to play a card. It's going to get the 1/1, of course, and then if we mill 2 with the Hell Spider, it will give everything 1 speed, including itself, like you said. So we're going to end up on a 5 high for 7.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to start, here we go.
Supersonic Flight here with the incubating, right?
Yep.
So we're going to -1 speed and then draw a card off the top.
We hit 2 here and get the Flash Fire activated for speed.
Yeah, but we're going to do something else.
I think Phil's just deciding.
Yeah, the Science Bros has a +1 block if we use it for Rodan. Remember, we have -2 to Phil's check to play the next card. But, I mean, his stage is so wide that, like, I don't even know if the -2 to the check right now is, like, actually the biggest detriment. But it does help playing the Enhance or the block. I'm not sure yet. It's the Enhance, but we did have -2 to our check. So we actually have to commit 1 for it because we checked a 3, right? So we do have to stop 1. Hopefully someone catches it, but Will should probably tap something. But yeah, we did end up checking an attack, which is very nice in the sense of it's only -1 more speed, but it's already at 0, but we have another attack in our discard pile. So this is for a 3. It's on a 2, actually. So we should still just have the 1 card committed.
Yeah. Oh, they're realizing now that the barrier shield was played.
Yeah, again,
3, so we just got to commit something somewhere.
Yeah, at some point.
I think that's what needs to be cleaned up.
They're
just like, I checked a 3.
Yeah, it's the 1 foundation. So yeah. Well, I think we're pausing and figuring it out. Moving on for the Besiege coming in here on a 4. Checks, and I'm with you, which means we're good to... but the Breaker, of course, sorry, we actually checked a 3, so we're going to have to commit 1 of our foundations. But we're okay with this Loss of Conscience being committed because we have double Frightening Calm. We can blow these up and get a selective seal on anything on Phil's board, which is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to touch here. You know, things like Moment of Normalcy, Masho's Concealment if you want to use an Enhance, of course. Even things like Hacker Extraordinaire are good for just denying either momentum and draw. So there's a lot of choices. The Mikasa defeats the female Titan, of course. So it is one of those things that we have to, decide if we want to press and do that button.
Yeah, it looks like I'm thinking about what Phil's got going on here. He's just sitting there. He's just like, yep, hands down. I'm like, Do your thing.
Yeah, man. We haven't taken any damage. We have played perfect defense as we mill our 3 with Porco with our 2 attacks in the card pool. I think we're just trying to get some damage on because, I mean, Jesse, from what I remember correctly, at least from the hand cam, we don't even have 4 attacks in our hand.
No.
Do we have a Mighty Blitz?
We have a Mighty Blitz.
Okay, we do have a way to do it. Okay, I didn't even know if we had enough gas to, like, find a way to get to the Porco, get 4 attacks in our card pool thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mighty or the Siege here is a little bit slower. Can only be blocked by block modifiers of 3 or greater. But usually you're okay sometimes with, if this is the only attack that you ever take in the game, you're kind of okay with it. Incubating Enhance coming through here. Phil's going to remove something from his discard pile. And it's just a galactic monster, it looks like, to potentially play it at a future turn as a form.
Yeah, I think the beginning of Galactic Marks are there for later. It's like, hey, we'll just, and if I need to have a backup plan to build up some extra foundations later on, I have it.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll go for the block here. Checks, no problem. And then we're look at the setup here for, like, is he like, hey, he's blocked twice. Can we keep going? That is the big decision Dawson has to make right now. The Mighty Blitz is sitting here, is like on the line for this, and it's not doing, it's got to do what it can. He's just deciding, it's like, is it time to pull this trigger, or does he back off?
Yeah, I mean, you really want to start doing Porco things, obviously. You really want to start doing the Porco thing, but you have to get the 4 attacks in your card pool, and sometimes it's just not worth doing the check here for, we're looking at the Dark Ward in our hand, we have the Forcing Surrender, we're actually just thinking about building more foundations, so it just kind of is up to how much more we want to try and push, because once again, we haven't done any damage, Jesse.
Yep. And it's like, we're just going to back off. I think that's the right play here. Don't waste the Mighty Blitz. There we go. Get a Forcing Surrender built as well.
Yeah, Forcing Surrender for, again, we can use these offensively if we're playing against a deck that it doesn't really do anything for. And so if you play it and you have to use the Porco, you have the 4 attacks. If you pick one of them back up, add something into your card pool, you're allowed to pick a non-attack card, and then the Forcing Surrender basically clears it out of your pool. And still does the thing.
Looks like gas to me. Phil's going to be cooking here.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what Phil decides to do here. He has plenty of offensive choices, but the question is he could just continue to stabilize until he finds enough cards that he wants to do. I think he even has enough attacks in his remove from game pile now where he's allowed to look at the top 4 cards of his deck.
Yep.
So we're going to see, but Sweeping Daggers is a good one to be able to pick options. Of course, we saw even cards like the World's Weakest Hunter that was played on a previous turn just to help us draw more cards. Sweeping Daggers here. Awesome.
Good lead.
Checks a 3, of course, but we're able to copy basically anything on our opponent's discard pile. I'm trying to think of, like, what would be the best choice here. Is probably just the Hellspider or Besiege or something if you just want something to connect. A lot of these moves aren't, like, enablers for other decks. Things like Sweeping Daggers aren't the best necessarily, but, like, Jaw Titan's Bite, you do copy the static ability on the card.
Oh,
or, like,
you take the armbar.
The armbar is a great one. It's the same idea, but for +1 more damage. So the armbar gone forever. I actually think this is a 1-of in that deck.
Yep.
So it means Mighty Blitz is never going to be able to grab that card once again. And now this static ability is stickered on to this Sweeping Daggers for the entirety of the turn. See, look, they did it. It's a sticker. And so we have this 5 mid for 6 at this current moment.
I thought it's all other attacks. Is it all attacks or is it
all attacks?
Yeah, all
yeah,
attacks.
All attacks. It gives it to itself.
Oof.
And so we're going to go through enhanced steps. Of course, Phil's going to be able to give this a bunch of speed because of Rodan, and then we have plenty of cards on our own board if we want to maybe like cycle some cards away. Depending on how we feel about this attack landing, we even have access to Hacker Extraordinaire, draw some more cards.
I like how Phil just is like, Phil's in the zone of like, do you want to remove that? Yes or no? He wasn't even, like, also was about to dump it. His cards like, do you want to activate that? I know the Phil mannerisms.
I mean, well, that's the thing, right? Is because he's like, I'm down. If you press that button right now on my turn, it means you are not sealing my defensive pieces. Phil 100% feels okay with the loss of consciousness getting you there. He's like, you sealing my supersonic flight? Phil has no problem taking 2, 3, 4, 5 more turns to eventually win the game while also playing perfect defense. And that's exactly what he's been doing, I think, all tournament. This is our first time getting him here on stream, but he's played Rodan now for the past 3 events.
Yep.
Right? And, it is very much the idea of this character plays fundamental UniVersus so well because of stat manipulation, deck knowledge, and just as long as you can use your resources at a better pace than your opponent, you typically can take wins. We saw
Yeah.
Andrew Porat already win with his character in a regional this year.
Yeah, he was playing that Ascend battle build, the one that's like the 6 diff that's just like count your speed, damage.
Yes, he
yeah.
definitely was doing that. I remember talking to him about it in Denver. It's a very cool card to like lead at the end. Whereas even Phil is playing a single copy of it as well in this deck, and Phil's even playing things like a single copy of Falco's Jaw Titan attacks just for different avenues on way, because that's the real answer as Rodan is how do you kill people efficiently. I think Sweeping Daggers has been a very strong addition for this character on two of its symbols.
Yep. So I think Phil is just deciding here.
Yeah, we already looked at the top of our deck, so we know what's coming. We know what the order is. It's just about playing the right pieces, drawing the cards at the right time based off of what was on top, because you do get to alter the order. And
I think it's like World Wickets Hunter is like the next line to try to. He's like, he knows he's like, I'm gonna do this.
I think it was all threes.
Yeah.
Part of the problem, I don't know though. Or that's the one that we just don't need. So we're gonna commit the sealed one. He's like, can I just put this here? Even though it's sealed, but he's like, I'll keep it over there. So yeah, this is going to come in with the 2 damage, which helps a lot because of this 3 base damage move. We saw that almost be a detriment against things like I'm With You. But yeah, I mean, Dawson definitely just kind of have to sit here and watch, where we have a little bit of interaction, obviously. Like Dark Ward could stop this ability from this card. It is a response, right? So Dark Ward would be able to not let Phil draw the cards on top of his deck. But we're going to go ahead and, press some draws anyway from the Attacker Extraordinaire Enhance, spend this momentum, draw a card. And if there was an asset on the stage, we'd be able to flip it.
Yep, well, we'll just draw.
Yeah, I'm going to draw that Supersonic Flight. And then we're also going to be pressing a Botan's Coaching, it looks like, so that card, that Supersonic. Yeah, the Supersonic we just drew, we're going to be able to put right there. And then now it's on top of our discard pile, so we can remove it for +4 speed and also drawing us another card.
Crazy. Like, it's I really think if I was playing this match in rounds as Dawson, I would just go to next game.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
That's an analyst perspective. I might eat my tongue on that one, which definitely did last time in our last round.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Where EJ was like, EJ bricked, might as well scoop, and then Wub bricked, and it was like, I don't guess EJ has a chance now.
Yeah, it's going to connect, though. It's going to deal 5 damage here, and it does have a response on it, but it looks like we're just not even going to bother with it. He's like, I don't want to draw these. Instead, here it comes. I brought it up. I didn't think we were going to see it because it is a 1-of, but the Falco Jaw Titan attacks. This is a 5 high for 6, and with the Blitz ability, it says your next attack this turn gets +4 speed, and you can change it to a high, and it's going to come in with 2 damage, so it's for 8 right now. This attack is going to be setting up very much a lethal scenario because Porco's only at 12.
Yeah, we're just pushing these high damage. Like, it's like this is like a good chain line for this deck.
Yeah.
Like, we're just setting up here. Everything's like, we have +2 damage to this. So we're going to have a 5 high 8. We're going to remove an extra 2 speed here.
I was trying to remember too, Galactic Monster also gives damage. It doesn't give 4 yet because our opponent doesn't have enough foundations, but we are going to go ahead and land with that. With the next attack getting +4 speed, and we're allowed to make it a high. It means that this Rising Uppercut, even though it doesn't typically have any text on our own turn, it is still going to get 8. Is going to be an 8 high for 6 by itself, plus whatever Rodan gives it based off of the Aaron sidestep on top of our discard pile. Responses on play, first enhance, even more speed. It's like, I need another die. I have too much speed here. 11 high for 6. Very much presenting lethal. The only answer you could really think of is something like a Barrier Shield to reset the speed, but that is going to be game 1, going to Phil Birch, breaking serve, having gone second all day today in game 1, winning game 1 over Dawson Milstead.
Yeah, that's about when the control deck gets time to double build, and Dawson, the 2 build really hurt. Like, I think Dawson really...
It was a 3 build, remember?
3 build. Like, yeah, sorry, 3
No,
build. That 3 build really hurt.
It's hard to remember because we used it. It commits and flips to
Yep.
do the Marty's Warriors commits and flips to do so, and then we blew it up for stun to try and get a little bit more offense. But when you did no damage from making that risky play because
Yep.
our deck just drew us attack cards. We had to do something. If not, it was like a build 2 pass or build 1 pass or something like that.
Mhm.
We went for it. We tried. But only getting one resource basically out of Phil with the Nonagon, it was just so rough because we were trying so hard to wall break, and just like that, the game kind of ran away.
Well, let's take a look at the sideboard, see what we got going on here for Dawson first.
So we have Activate the Coordinate. I know this had a lot of success for people against the backup decks, but all of those have been eliminated, so we don't have to worry about those. So it's going to be mainly things like Hero's Upbringing to help seal Rodan if you're trying to stop a lot of the, the minus speed from all of your moves. And then, of course, we even have cards like, and this is a really fun one because I don't think a lot of people are playing it, but Resolute In has the ability to cancel action cards. So things like Barrier Shield could get messed with. We even saw Genkai's Guidance get checked, right? So this is a Death Attune, very Koenma's Task shaped card, and you're able to do it because it just removes itself as well. And then I would say probably the only big thing we could probably side in is things like Desperate Struggle. There's only one of them in the sideboard, but it does say that you can kind of mess with stats a little bit more, and maybe protect stuff or don't die to something necessarily because we're giving a lot of stats as Rodan.
Yep. On Dawson's or Phil's side, Dimensional Spear really does something here because
that one's huge, right? Because this is literally a character that needs you to have 4 attacks in your card pool for him to do the Porco mechanic and the looping thing. So this removing, although it clears a progressive, it is so impactful in the sense of getting rid of things out of the card pool. And if their abilities like Jaw Titan's Bite, you're getting rid of +1 damage to everything as well.
Yep. Yeah. Sarming Glance is. We don't draw though. We have a little bit of draw, but not a lot.
It's just things like latent skill in our stage, which you just have to kind of call your own shot, right?
Yeah.
So it is a little harder to pull those off. I do like things like Not Now in Gaming. There's an extra one in the sideboard that we could bring out. There's just even a 4th copy of Barrier Shield that we could bring in. So I think there is just a world where we can do that. And again, we even have copies of things like Stopping for Breakfast. So you can cancel your opponent's Barrier Shields or, especially if, again, it's open deck list, you see that your opponent is playing things like Hero's Upbringing. Could answer those if those come in the side.
That's true. We'll see what Dawson's making. He's taking a lot of cards out. He's a stack there of like, hey, I need all this. And he's like, well, you're a very tight deck.
Yeah. It's 60 cards.
Yeah. It's a tight 60.
And if you're trying to put in things like, if you put in the Resolute Ends or you put in the Hero's Upbringing, you're trying to put in 4 actions into your deck. What do you take out? Well, I hope it's not foundations because we had a problem last game where we didn't have any foundations, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough choice. Phil's here just shuffling away, getting ready. He's got his what do they call? They're not called fanny pack or
sling bodies.
Sling bodies now is what they like to call them.
Yeah, his is a
shark.
It's a shark. It's really cute.
That's actually I like that.
It's kind of looking at us. Look, the eye. Yeah. All right, Phil's resetting his. What are those called again?
Boogie boards.
Boogie boards. Yeah, where you reset them and you just write them on.
I have one that syncs to. If I sync it to my phone. And I'll sit and write on it, and I'll press a button, and it saves everything to my phone.
Oh, so you can still have it later. That's great for notes for a tournament.
I do it for notes for work. I bring it to work, and I'm then they're writing notes, and they're like, because everybody has their laptops, and it's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and write, and have it all, and I can read my own handwriting.
That's true. I can. All right, wait. I can read my own handwriting. No one else can read my own handwriting.
It looks like chicken scratch.
Yeah.
They're like, what does this say? I'm like, well, it says all this, and they're like, that doesn't look like that.
If you didn't know, I was going to be a teacher at one point in my life, so I very much have teacher handwriting because you can't read teacher handwriting.
Yep.
Especially for us men in the field, our handwriting is terrible as a teacher. A lot of scratches.
What was your what are you gonna do?
I was gonna do a math teacher, which is even more accurate, right? I'm a type everything out guy. I'm not.
I was gonna be a history teacher, and let me tell you, I would have forced at least one paper a year has to be handwritten.
You're awful. Why would you do that?
Because every college that was a standard of sadly my favorite college professor. That was his standard. You had 3 papers a semester in his courses. 2 could be typed, 1 had to be handwritten.
But especially now with I'm not gonna get into it. I'm like, especially now, like,
This is 2000,
yeah.
7.
But I feel like
Um,
it'd be a lot of work on you because if you're trying to AI check your students, you have to take their handwritten paper and then put it in digitally for them to check it.
oh, I know.
That sounds awful.
I remember this is 2007, 2010.
Times have changed, Jesse.
Yeah, I
No
know.
more handwritten essays.
No.
Speaking of handwritten, hand size, hand drawn, as we see our opening hand here from Dawson, we're hopefully trying to build a couple more impactful foundations, and we at least have the chances to build them. Looks like that desperate struggle did come in, and we found it in our opening hand. When you find your sideboard pieces, it feels really good.
That's some gas. That's a gas hand there, though. We're going to get this Marley started here.
And we're going to go 3 diff, 2 diff, 1 diff, and then gamble on a 2.
Isn't there a warrior in the Guilty Gear set?
Soul Bad Guy's a
Soul
warrior.
Bad Guy has warrior, and that's
And he has chaos.
Yeah.
But it looks like that Desperate Struggle is not going to be the play, at least for right now. We would rather try and build, hopefully, these like guaranteed 3, and then gamble on the 4th one, of course. And we did get it to pay off. Review here from Phil, and then we're going to be able to draw our bonus and the going second. And there is that Dimensional Sphere that we talked about.
Yep.
So there is going to be some counterplay on both ends of these players and their sideboards, and that I think makes really fun games. Because like there's something to be said about you only have 10 cards on your sideboard, right? You bring them in and you just never see them, so you don't even know what the game would be like if you did. But both of our players touching their sideboards, bringing things in, and then we also see them in our hands, we could see what is going to happen with them.
Looks like we are going to review the Desperate Struggle.
Well, I guess we cited it and reviewed it, so I guess it doesn't. Never mind, I ate my words. Just kidding. We still have some other pieces that we cited in our hand. As we draw up to our hand size, only finding 1 attack means this is going to be another build turn. Yeah. But they are good cards, right? Double Forcing Surrender and a Latent Skill would be very nice, of course, so that we don't whiff on attacks on our next turn, hopefully. And we can even get maybe another Loss of Consciousness in our stage, but we don't have a Frightening Calm. We're playing 4 copies of that card. We haven't found one, so.
No, I think we build the Double Forcing. Yeah, that's good. That's what I want to see.
Build 4, pass with 3 in hand feels very nice, but it means that Phil didn't have to use any resources on that most volatile turn for defense as Rodan. And so now it's just kind of up to what the cards come in for Phil, because a lot of these are like defensive tricks, but they are like blue cards and orange cards, and that means if Phil's going to be the first one to play attacks, it could be a little weird. But we do have a couple foundations that we're allowed to build here with the Science Bros, and then immediately into the Rejuvenating Smash, the classic play foundation, play Rejuve Smash. We did check a 3, so it's going to be commit Rodan and 2 of our foundations to draw 2 cards. It is a response in the card pool. You are allowed to Dark Ward that one. But it looks like it is going to resolve there as we drew our 2 cards, giving Phil more chances to hopefully play more foundations if we want to stabilize even more. But the Botan's coming in here. We're going to go ahead and pitch a Supersonic Flight, and our opponent is going to pitch a Loss of Consciousness, but it looks like we might be taking it back.
He's deciding if this is...
Again, I think
you do it, you just don't activate.
That's fine, but like Phil is fine. That's 1 less that you're not going to be able to use when you do eventually decide to attack. We saw that happen last game.
Yep.
It's okay if you use them. Phil doesn't mind them if they get used on his own turn. A lot of Phil's cards in his stage don't do anything for him on his. It's about defense.
And it looks like we're going to put -1 to Phil's check for the next check, and we're at -2 damage.
Yeah, but we're going to remove the Supersonic Flight for +4 speed, and then also drawing a card off the top. So all of a sudden, yeah, we checked a 3 on this Rejuvenating Smash, but we've drawn 3 cards because of all the moving pieces, as well as the Botans for the cycle, right?
Yeah, this is, like, Dawson's doing what he can. Like, he's trying to hold... You know what I would do right now? I'd Forcing Surrender that. You could have Forcing Surrender the Science Bros.
That is smart. That is kind of smart. It denies 1 extra foundation. And Science Bros is huge because in conjunction with, in a character like Rodan, Science Bros plus Incubating just says give damage to my moves by removing cards and doing what your character wants you to do anyway, because you just nullify the minus speed part by getting the +1. But Science Bros being very good for Rodan at any point, builds a couple more foundations and passes back to Dawson. And so now is the time for Dawson to really try and break through this wall, especially after Phil was the first one to play an attack and checked a 3 on it.
I think he drew 1 additional attack.
But we have a latent skill. We can try to maybe make this work, but I would agree with you. It is still very...
There's still just 1 attack.
There's just not a lot going on right now. Double Dark Word is great. Frightening Columns, we need those because we have things like Loss of Consciousness
Yeah.
in our stage.
Just keep building. Like, don't.
I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah. Don't succumb to the internal thought that you can play one attack and dig for 2 more. Like,
That's a risk I would make if I was up a game, not when I'm down a game.
No.
Dark Ward here on a 2. We're going to see how many foundations you really. You have to also consider, too, right? The more and more that turns go on, the bigger the stages get. You feel less comfortable building more foundations because you have to feel like you have to block more things. So just a build 2 here, but again, because those cards in our hand aren't attacks, there's a world where if Phil just built, you're still stuck with all those gray cards.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing about our game, right? Is you have to play cards to find new cards. But Sweeping Daggers here on a 4 here for Phil, and because we're playing against a mill deck, there's going to be a lot of options in the discard pile, even though we haven't played any attacks really at all for Dawson. I'm wondering if we could find that armbar again.
Yeah, it's a Draw Titan.
Draw Titan's Bite, great, because it means you can't pick it up. It's going to give the +1 damage to all of Phil's other moves. This one is other. And the Deadlock Stun, too, would be funny if we were almost there, but Dawson not going that far yet.
If he had gone to Deadlock, I would have been amused. Like, I've been like, uh-oh. That could be an uh-oh situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to look, too, if there was any, like, crazy Deadlock. It Phil's deck.
Air Deadlock is very light right now.
Well, we're on Void. It's okay. We have
we have that.
Practical
we have
Studies.
Keep Enhance.
Yeah, we have the Selective Seal.
Seal, Commit, Flip. That card is so hilarious.
And it gives 3 speed when it does it or something like that.
It does a lot.
All right, but we are still moving on with this one with +4 speed because of the +3 from the Rodan Enhance, getting rid of that Incubating, and then because we removed a card again, the
response, we respond.
Science Bros. That's what it is. I was like, I don't know, I'm blanking on that one. The Science Bros is going to help us push a little bit more on all of these attacks that Phil plays, and every time he uses and removes a card. The Rodan Enhance coming through, going to be able to look at the top 2. Double attack card is not the best when I don't think we have a way to draw those, at least on top of in our stage right now.
Nope. No, because we've already. I think maybe if we had done that first and then peek, we could have Science Bros one of them and drawn one.
Oh, true. Yeah, Science Bros does say respond after you remove a card. You're allowed to commit it and draw.
Yep.
And then also you could have like when you. I guess we don't have a way to like go find a Supersonic Flight in our discard pile. But I think we just have to be okay with the fact that we are checking a 3, whether we play an attack or not. Looks like we're doing a defensive latent skill.
Yep.
Pitching 2 of these foundations on our hand, one of which being a Lust for Battle. And I don't think Phil has any, or wait, we do. We have a Masho's Concealment. So the question...
Would you like to do this? And this might actually be the time to do it. Hey, I'm going to latent skill on defense.
How many other enhances are worth canceling?
Yeah.
Frightening Calm, but that one's repeatable. Capture the Target, maybe, is pretty fine. And then I guess Forcing Surrender would be the other one. So there are real choices, but the fact that you've already gotten the latent skill usage defensively, I feel pretty good about that. I don't really care if you draw 2 cards on defense. The point of the Rodan deck, right, is that you just give too much speed that eventually you just won't be able to block anything anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to let it resolve. Draws 2. It's going to be an action card and a foundation.
Resolute End.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good to have, but it's not good at this exact moment because there's no really offensive actions Phil would play. They're all defense. They're all defense lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is for sure the ones you have to hold on to if you're trying to wall break. But we've already gotten to a point now where we're on Phil's turn 3, and we haven't attempted an offense at all from Dawson because we just haven't drawn the attacks. And even still, we press that latent skill, we pitch 2 non-attack cards, and what do we draw? 2 non-attack cards.
Yep. Like, we just haven't found an attack. Like Dawson, the thing is, Dawson really has to start throwing some cards away to block.
Just
attempt to block. And
even if you do it or don't. All right, using the bottom enhance here from Barrier Shield that says neither player can play abilities to add cards to their hand.
Oh, he's trying to get rid of the checks.
Gets rid of the 3 check off the top. It does stay in the card pool.
Yep.
He
failed it.
You can. It was on
was-
a 3, and we
it was-
checked it. Or no, we used less for battle.
Yeah.
You're allowed to fail it. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay.
Let's fail it.
You're right. I didn't think about that. And I was like, it stays in the card pool, but it doesn't count. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But you're right. We absorb the Lust for Battle check hack. We knew we were checking a 3. We get it out of the way. There's still going to be another one. Throwing these blocks away, though, as we take the 5 from the Sweeping Daggers. And it has connected, going to get another momentum here for Phil. And now you at least only know that there's one 3 check on top of your deck. Sweeping Daggers here on a 4 or 5. Know that we're checking a 3. We're going to have to tap 2 of our foundations.
Yeah, this is. I think, and the thing is, we got plenty of options here to commit. So we're
Yeah, like the pass-through walls is how susceptible to breaker do you think you're going to be? I think is a fine choice. The Galactic Monster you could also pick if you don't think you need the commit for damage.
we're gonna take the other.
The
bite.
second Jaw Titans bite after this one comes in with it, but we're going to sticker the other effect onto it. And now it means with only 2 of them left in Dawson's deck or discard pile total for the rest of this game, you're only ever going to get 1 bonus move from them.
Yep. So we're gonna discard
For no effect, but it puts the supersonic flight on top of our discard pile, which is perfect because it just replaces itself anyway.
Birch is playing chest over here. He's got like the heads up blinds.
I mean, when your rival just gives you plenty of time to make plays and make these decisions because they just don't draw the attacks, there's just a world where you're allowed to, right?
Yep.
Plus the Science Bros response, right, for the 1/1, it gives us that. We draw the card, it gives +4 speed, and now this one's going to be incredibly fast, a 10 mid for 6 as we mill 3, where a third Jaw Titan's bite has hit the discard pile and another loss of consciousness, and feels like, once again, hey man, I don't care if you use these right now, but hitting the Science Bros is a real choice.
Yep. Yeah, but I think it might be like there's an Ascend to Battle.
Oh,
that's
pretty good.
that-
Okay, I'll pull it up.
Ascend to Battle is one of the fun ones. It's 0 damage attack, but it gets damage equal to the total printed speed of attacks in your card pool.
And
You have
Sweeping Daggers are printed 5s.
Yeah, so 15.
And guess what your opponents had?
15.
Yeah. It also has Deadlock EX on it. Not that our opponent's in Deadlock, but again, another situation where it could have been interesting. And then we are going to go for a block here with the sideboarded copies of Resolute End. And it is a mid block, so this is an attempt at a full. Checks the Hero's Upbringing, so we just have to commit a lot of resources here. But that is going to be a full block for this incredibly fast move. Again, this was on a 12, I think. Resolute End has a +3, mid about 13. This was on a 13. We checked a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And now, just like you said, there's just a world where this Ascend to Battle is lethal.
It feels like I'm gonna
6, 7, 8. Checks a 4. 5.
He's like, I'll
6, 7, 8. That is enough. Even that Galactic Monster, in case, a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah, this might actually just be This might be a presenting lethal with. I don't think.
4, 5, 6, 7. We need one more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be that one. I mean, Phil is just trying to present lethal here.
This will be at 17 after the blitz.
Yeah, because of the +2 from both of the stickered effects of the Jaw Titan's bite, right? And the question here is, you have to tell me, Jesse, is there a barrier shield in Dawson's hand?
He has kept that hand pretty tight. I don't think
I don't think there's one in there unless we drew it from Botan.
Resolute.
It's going to blitz for +10 damage.
15.
15 damage, I'm sorry. 15 damage.
So it's up to 17.
17. It's currently a 5 high. And then we checked a 3 block modifier. So we are able to make this an 8 speed move. There's a card in Dawson's card pool. We could Forcing Surrender it out. So regardless of with a +1 block, it would be on a 9. You'd have to check a 5.
Yep. +3 speed.
3, 8, 9. That's assuming it's a +1 high. You're allowed to partial it, so I guess +1 mid is fine.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm so locked in at this moment right now because it is just a world where it's lethal. It just might be lethal.
He was trying to hit that one.
And that's just it, man. He's like, I don't have it. I don't have enough minus damage. I didn't find out I'm with you. And so just like that, on turn 3, Phil takes game 2 and the match against another aggro deck in the format. Moving on to finals, Rodan versus Porco will be your finals for the Atlanta Regional.
There's a Phil. Phil Birch is going to come over here and be like, yeah, I did the thing.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He sure
did. The Ascend to Battle play, incredibly cool.
It is when you want, when we saw Porat doing it with, but he was doing with combined firepower as well.
That card was legal back then.
That was legal. Well, it was, you could play it in.
You could do the response from the discard pile. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was just like, oh, I'll build 6 foundations on 1, turn 2, you die.
Absolutely. Wow, impeccable play there. Winning going second again against the aggro deck that just didn't find enough gas, didn't find the heat when you needed to break through the wall. And I know they're yapping over there. We've been told to vamp for a little bit, Mike, so we're going to vamp for a little bit. But yeah, we got Phil Birch versus another Porco. And of course, Phil is going to go second because he's the 16th seed.
Yeah.
But we just saw that we can easily survive against these aggro decks. That's all he's been playing against. That's exactly why he picked to play this deck, is because Phil is such a strong defensive player. Look at it. Look, everyone looking at the bracket right now. Yeah. All the way at the top, Phil Birch versus Gavin Kale, your Swiss champ, playing Devil Jin, the known menace that people were coming to this event with. Had to go second. Wins the entire thing. Moves on against Matt Childress, who we saw in top 16 playing his Godzilla deck, and Matt Childress was playing incredibly well.
Yep.
Wins going second against Godzilla, and their match took a while.
Yes.
It took a while. And then, as we just saw, Phil Birch versus Dawson Milstead playing Porco. And I get it. Dawson didn't draw a bunch of attacks, but even in the game that he did draw attacks, and we played a little more calm, calculated, Phil played impeccable defense and took no damage that game.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Yeah. He was fine. He was like, I got this.
And we saw how successful Porco could be in the other match when George versus Webb.
Yeah.
It's not like these aggro decks aren't.
I think it's Dawson's deck finally burned out on him.
It happens.
It happens.
And you ready? We interviewed George afterwards of his game, and he thought in game 1 when he lost, he looked at he drew up his hand, saw no attacks, and he drew up his hand, saw no attacks, lost game 1, and George was like, I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of my run because I thought my deck was running out of gas. And for this specific situation for Dawson, that is what happened.
Yep.
But there is still some hope for you Porco fans out there. George Rangel is going to have the opportunity to go against Phil Birch in the finals. But before we do that, we are going to have a small chat.
No.
This one's quick. So this is our post interview for you, because this is my only time I'm going to be able to talk to you, at least in the stream. But congratulations, Phil. You're honestly the only horse I have left to root for, because I said a defensive deck would win.
Sure.
And you're the only one left, and you're also the 16th seed. You've gone second all day today, and you also told me you didn't want to be here because you were very tired.
I went second all day yesterday also, Barrett. I won 1 dice roll all of yesterday, so I've actually just been in the zone, and I don't want to be here, but...
But you're doing the thing.
I think my deck is so turbo broken against everything that's not Deku, so... if I had to play against Mitchell, we probably were holding that L, but I got to run against all the
these
things
aggro decks. This is exactly what you wanted.
Perfect.
This is what you wanted.
I love blocking. It's my favorite thing, so that's all we've been doing.
And you did it so well. You basically perfect gamed game 1. You didn't take any damage, and you went second, like we said, and you stabilized. And then game 2, your opponent didn't really play the game against you, and so you got to do the cool thing where you got to end with Ascend the Battle. Even game 1, you got to play the Falco Jaw Titan deck. It was you got to
game 1 I goofed. I goofed so bad. I set up a 3. I was gonna draw the good one, and
I
was like,
uh-oh.
And I was like, aha, pass, haha, silly goose. And I went, uh-oh, can we still do it through that? So yeah, I'm glad we could, because that would have been really embarrassing.
I'm excited to watch your finals match.
Thanks, man. I'm excited, I guess, to be in one.
You get to go against another Porco Galliard.
Cool. That guy is on the God run.
Yes.
I didn't say it, Chad. That was close.
George almost lost to Wub, and the same idea of just not drawing gas anymore, the deck finally tiring out. But he did pull off the last 2 games to get through the match. But I think you are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You've been on this character for the past 3 events, and you have top cut it every time.
It's tight.
It's-
That's awesome.
So I'm excited to see how it goes. Congratulations. We're going to give
Thanks,
you a bit
guys.
of a break. We're going to do another bigger interview with, I think probably with Bromley or some sort
Cool.
before
Yeah,
we
we'll let
dive
Bromley
in.
do that.
Just to also give you guys a little bit
Yeah.
more time to chill. But
Love it.
congratulations on your finals,
Thanks,
and
man.
I wish you luck.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
guys.
We're going to
Appreciate
cut
it.
away to a small break. Don't go anywhere, guys, as we're going to have some interviews with your finalists, and then we will have the final game of the Atlanta Regional. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Bye-bye.
Hey, George.
Oh, we have George. Oh, we're just doing it right now. I guess we're doing it now. Okay. Never mind. I'm back. Hey, never mind.
What up?
Hey, George. I thought I was getting off, but welcome back. You've had a bit of a time to decompress. Did you watch that match at all?
No,
Oh.
Okay. All right. That's fair. You're going against Phil Birch.
I go first.
You get to go first, but would you be a little afraid if I told you that Phil hasn't gone first all weekend?
No,
Nope.
And he just decimated a Porco deck. 2-0, going second both games.
that's cool.
All right, I love it. This is what matters because
This-
that's the kind of energy you have to have when you go into this. And,
I
and we-
mean, the big thing is like I'm not saying it as if like to disrespect anybody.
no, absolutely not.
I just don't care.
No, you shouldn't because
here.
you're
Yes.
here and your deck has been doing what it's designed to do all weekend, and that's why you're here exactly fighting for this win at this exact moment. Like you said, 8-month hiatus, and here you are. Here you are. You're here in the finals, and you're going against Phil Birch playing Rodan, another known defensive character in the game, and you're going to have a strong opportunity to show why Porco shouldn't have been abandoned. Why did everyone go to
yeah,
Delgin?
I mean-
Porco's just good.
Porco kills people on turn 2 so fast. It's like incredible.
Absolutely. And so my only real big question I guess I have to ask is, what are you going to do, and who do you think you'll play at Worlds if you do end up winning after this match?
Guilty Gear's legal, right?
It will be
Oh,
legal.
Sure will be.
And those characters have been revealed. Obviously, not the full set's been revealed. But
Yeah.
if you're just, right now, right off the top, do you run it back with Porco? Or
No, he's getting it rotted. So.
okay.
Um,
Okay. Assuming he doesn't. Let's say everything stays the same, but we gain Guilty Gear. But
he does get momentum now, so you can get.
you can do fire. Yeah, fire
Yeah, you can
attunes
give
to
Mighty Blitz Powerful 4. It's pretty cool.
Megalomania. Did you see
Yep,
that one?
yep.
You can
I get to
seal your opponent's.
Rodan. Nice.
You can
GG.
see Rodan. Yeah, exactly. So
There you go.
is that an option, or do you think there's another choice?
Oh yeah, if he's not touched, I'm playing Porco in Worlds. Like that's just how it is.
As
Yep.
you should, because you're having a lot of success right now. Jesse, any questions or any follow-ups for George as well?
Well, I have one question, and do you think you got this?
I could do it.
Percentage
do
chance.
it?
Percentage confidence chance.
For a percenent, you
I'm
probably
like,
make up for
I'm
a
like at
number.
least a 50-50. Like
50-50.
I'm
That's
either
perfect.
50-50 or 40-60. Like I could.
You're
get
going
there.
first. You should have the 60.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
All right.
You should have the 60. I'll take the 60-40. I think that's fair. I want a game 3. That's all I care about, man. I want a game 3. I want you to win game 1, show what your deck does. I want game 2 to be very close and tight, and you put up a good fight. And then game 3, I don't care who wins. You both deserve it. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to be fun. I'm glad that we have this kind of aggro versus defense. You know, 7-hands. I love 7-handers. I think 7-handers deserve all the love that they deserve in the
It
world.
shouldn't be 24 health, but
That's fair. You're not. Yay.
a lot
I
of
get
health.
it. There's a lot of controversy. I understand. But
Hawks has 2 more health. He's a 6-hander. I don't know.
well, it's 6-hander. If he picks up cards. Yeah,
Oh,
but
you're
you're
right,
right.
you're right.
You're right. Anyway, George, I wish you luck. I know you did your shout-outs already, but, you know, people that helped you prepare for this event, of course, you know, that you've been testing for. Obviously, you play the game a lot, even though you've been judging for the past 8 months,
Yeah.
you know. How'd you get here? What's the story?
The story was I made a broken Air Nick deck, got
Okay.
him errated, then proceeded to win a couple online things
Yep.
with Nick again on all. And as much as I wanted to keep playing him, I got tired of it.
That's fair.
Too much.
I got tiny hands, man. I can't shuffle those Nick Reagan decks.
But there were 60 cards.
Ooh, that's true. I'm a big 80-card Nick Reagan fan, but I understand. I still got tiny hands.
130.
I'm not doing that. No, no, no.
I did
There
play
is a
with-
real reason to slow it down and bring it. You want to hit the good ones always.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Continue the story.
I hit my peak with Air Nick, got put on the team.
Yeah,
Suck
yeah.
BS. And ever since then, it's just been great having a lot of top tier minds in the team just discussing deck building, strategies, how you're going to play the game, what's the math on things.
Yeah.
The team's great.
Heck yeah, man. And all that work it has paid off. And regardless of what happens after today, you deserve every spot that you get right here in this finals. And you're the higher seed.
Yeah,
So
I
you
could try.
placed better also.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to come down, I think, to a very good match. And I'm excited to watch you guys play it. We're going to give you a little bit more of a break.
Maybe
Good
we'll get
luck,
Brom.
man.
Maybe Bromley will want to do Phil. He's been like so wanting to talk about Phil.
I feel like we just talked to him already, so I don't think we're going to do it again. But, Mike, am I cutting it away? Okay, all right. George, I'm going to give you a little bit more time. You have a finals coming up. It is currently 3 o'clock local time, everybody. So I like the fact that we get to end this tournament. Everyone gets to go celebrate and go to dinner regardless of what happens, including yourself. So everybody at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a short break, and then we're going to have George versus Phil in your Atlanta Regional Finals.
See ya.